Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Nishmasimi Mirosi Rus Bas Mordechai. In Yisroel, they changed the clocks. I bet you there's a bunch of people that don't even know about it. They're going to show up in middle of Shir. What's going on here? So, like there's half, well, nobody, because the place is empty today. Empty. Unbelievable. There's room. Gewaldig. So I have a few things I want to share with you about Reb Chaim. Last week, today is when we got the terrible news. So I've been saying, before he was nifter already, I was saying, look, I don't know of anybody that says that Reb Chaim Kanievsky was a tremendous ilui. Everybody says he was a very hard worker. And that he's mechayev us. If you have a human being that could finish the entire Bavli, all of Shas, which takes us 7.5 years, he could do it in 1 year. All of Yerushalmi, all of, I think Shulchan Aruch also, Tur, Shulchan Aruch, Medrash, Rambam, Sifra, Sifri, everything. Chamisha Chum Shetoyer, of course, Tanakh, everything, all in 1 year. So it's mechayev us all. And then this clip is going around. It's a famous one, but it's kedai. I'm sure some in the room didn't hear it. Rav Gifter, that tells the Rosh Yeshiva 35 years ago, when Reb Chaim Kanievsky was only like 60 years old, less than 60. Listen to Rav Gifter. A lot of it is in Yiddish. Maybe I'll translate. Rav Gifter always used to complain about the Yeshiva Bachrim. He used to say that there are maratzim in 2 languages, in English and in Yiddish. I'm even a bigger Amaretz. I'm Aretz in English, Hebrew, and Yiddish. I speak all 3 of them, but none of them proficiently. Math. Yeah. Rav Gifter, he had this gesunte Yiddish and a real proper English. Now listen to this, if you could blast it, because it's kind of low. Here we go. Torah, you have to work hard, he says.
You ask a businessman who has an ASIC, can he be lazy and succeed? He'll tell you you're crazy. If you want to succeed, you've got to put your whole self into it. Meint lernen und nicht mafsig sein von lernen.
You have to learn and learn and learn, not stop learning. And I promise you, I'm not a Novi. I promise you, if you learn like that, you'll know Shas, you'll know the entire Torah. Like Reb Chaim Kanievsky.
Chaim Kanievsky, sein Wissen, Kolatere Kule, ist also doch jeden Jahr Kolatere Kule. Not only Bavli, Yerushalmi, mit der Sefte, Sifri, also alle mit Rosh Chazal, Chazat jeden Jahr.
He chazes it every year. This is 35 years ago. 35 years ago, it was already known who Reb Chaim Kanievsky was.
Jeden Jahr. So I don't mean that you should become that great. Aber durchzulernen Schas, das kennt ihr, jeder von euch kennt es.
That every single one of you could do. To learn Shas, everyone can.
No one that can do it. Seid ihr Jiden. Und ihr seid gestanden am Bank. Und der Rebbe ist mit reingegeben in euch Teire. So what do you mean you can't do it? You must do it. If you will do that in your yeshiva years, then you can afford to have a malav.
Okay. Then we have this. This is a video. Do you have your video on? Yeah? Video?
כשנכנסתי הייתי מסכה על הפנים, והרב ביקש שאני אוריד את המסכה. הנכד שלו, ינקי, אמר לו, סבא, אתה יודע מי זה? הוא אמר לו, הוא עשה לו ככה עם היד, אמר לו, זה אבא של גיבור ישראל. זה מדהים הידע שלו, מי אני ניגשתי אליו, ואז הייתי עם הדיסקית ככה, והוא מישש את הדיסקית והתחיל לבכות. ביטף לי את הפנים והתחיל לבכות ואמר לי, אני רוצה שתדע שהבן שלך נמצא הכי קרוב, אני מצטט עכשיו, הכי קרוב לכיסא המלכות. ואז הוא אמר לי, אתה יודע שהבן שלך נמצא יחד עם רבי שמעון בר יוחאי ורבי עקיבא. אני מזכיר לכם שעמית נפל, יערה, את יודעת טוב, כי את היית אצלנו בשבעה, שעמית נפל בל"ג בעומר, יום ההילולה של רבי שמעון בר יוחאי, וזה היה כל כך גדול הדבר הזה. אני נוסע
B'kitzer, he says that Reb Chaim Kanievsky didn't know about the story, and he touched his dog tag, and he cried, and he said that he's together with Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Okay, I want to read you this real quickly. I was wondering that since the Daf shir is so successful, maybe you should start a real estate shir. That is easier than the Chumash shir. I would be the first subscriber. Also, do you know if the Olam Haba I get for learning the Daf will also be at 1.5 speed? My son finished Megillah. Let's see if I want to go back to the charts for a second. Let's see if we could do a... There we go. Which one? Who? I only do the parts that are true. I know they're less. I cut it out on purpose. This is... My son finished Megillah for Purim and is now doing Chagiga with Rebelli. After a long day in Yeshiva, he comes home and learns a blot with the shir. He doesn't have the video, only the MP3. His proud father, here it is on the screen. Here we have, we were looking for Ruvain Baldman, here he is in Dubai. Learning what? He's not, he's Dubai. And here you have Akiva Solkowitz on the plane. I was thinking to myself, he says that this is not a posed picture, that he caught his friend and he's pointing to his friend learning, but his friend has a little bit of a smirk there. So maybe he's really enjoying the thing and his mask is down. So even if you say, I was thinking to myself, even if it's posed, look what people are posing for. They're not like, like this. They're posing with a Gemara and learning. How geschmack is that? It's unbelievable. What else do we have? That's it. Okay. Gewaldik. The Pardes HaChodesh for the Koilel is Mr. Anonymous. No, not Mr. Anonymous. Another Anonymous. A Hasidish anonymous person from Borough Park. In the schus of... You don't know. I don't think anybody knows who it is. Hillel ben Sora, Dina, and Rivka Bas Fega, they should be Zoichot to Zeresh Kayama. This is the last day for Shauly Rosenfeld in memory of my dear friend Yehuda Augenbaum. Yishkoch Shauly. It's a big inspiration, seriously. $2,600 from a 19-year-old. Parnas HaChodesh by the Lock Lebovic families. Lakewood has a zechus for our families. I forgot. Okay, you forgot to remind me, Yosef. This is also the last day for Parnas HaChodesh, Jonathan Davydov. For the Hatzlachah of the Davydov families, you should have Hatzlachah. Parnas HaChodesh, friends and family. Refuah Shlema for Yaakov Yehuda ben Gittel. Parnas HaChodesh, the Bresler, Austein, Rosenberg, Schulman, and Tobias families, and the zechus. Refuah Shlema for our Rosh Yeshiva, Yisroel Meir David ben Yocheved Druk Shlita. By Zecharia Steinberg, may Hashem bless him with Hatzlachah and his ruchnis and gashmis and shalom bayis. Rabbi Isai, we're in the middle of an unbelievable sugya of Zika. Zika, what is Zika? Besides that, I don't know if anybody got it. Azikon, Zika, what's it called in English? A strap, a zip tie. Thank you. Zip tie in Hebrew has a similar meaning, or it's called Azikon, like a Zika. So, what is it exactly? That's what they debate in yeshivas for months upon months. Depends on what yeshiva you go to. At least a month, 2 months. Is it as strong as Kiddushin? Absolutely not. In other words, if you hold Yesh Zika and there's a bond between the Yevama and the Yavam, and she goes out and marries somebody else, she's not Chayv Misa, she wasn't over. Like if a regular woman has Kiddushin and she goes and marries somebody else, she's Chayv Misa. And what? And If they're two brothers, she fell to two brothers. Yesh zika, there is a bond to the two brothers. How could you be mekudesh to two men? So obviously it's not as strong as kiddushin, but it does something. What does it do? What is the gather? They sit and they discuss and they. So we're going to see a lot of it. That's if you hold yesh zika. If you hold ein zika, what is the issue? What's not the issue? So we're holding in the middle of the sugya. I believe we're holding by Tnan, yeah? Does somebody know?
Yes. Tnan Yevimtoi.
Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines from the bottom. Now, Yevimtoi Shemesa. I just want to show you this chart for a second, Gary. We're going to have like this. If a woman is there to be Misyabim, no matter what you hold, if you hold Yesh Zika, Ein Zika, if she's there ready to be a Yevama, the mother is Usser. The mother of the Yevama, you can't marry her. Even if you hold Ein Zika, that there's no bond, you'll still hold she's Usser. Why? Because by you marrying the mother, you automatically can't marry the daughter. If you can't marry the daughter, then you can't be Mekayim the mitzvah of Yibum, you mevatel a mitzvah of Yibum. And if you hold Yesh Zika, then you're somewhat connected to this woman. You have a bond to her, so then you cannot marry her mother. Anyway, if you hold Yesh Zika, it's simple. If you hold Ein Zika, you still can't marry the mother. What if one of the brothers goes ahead and gives her a chalitza, performs Yibum, so there's no more Zika? So this is interesting, because if you were married to a woman, you can never marry her mother. There's never a heter in the world, even if the wife dies. But so you have Zika, you have some bond to her, but if your brother performs a chalitza, that bond goes away. Now you're allowed to marry the mother. So once again, you see Zika is not kiddushin. What if the Yevama dies? Where does the Zika go? Does it remain or not remain? The Gemara is going to tell us it remains. So on the flip side, over here you have Zika that's stronger than some sort of Kiddushin. Kiddushin, if you make Kiddushin and the person dies, well, not so much with a mother. It has other application. Over here, you would think that the Zika dissipates. The Yevama died. There's no connection anymore between you and her. No, something remains. You're not allowed to marry her mother. So, what is Zika? Says the Gemara, now we're going to have the other. Yesterday we had the Manda Omar, Rav Huna, who says there's no Zika. The name of Rav. Omar Rav Huna, Omar Rav is going to come back, so we want to remember that. Rav holds Ein Zika. Tnan, Yevimtoi Shemeisa, Mutter Ba'achoisa. Okay. Yevimtoi Shemeisa, if the Yevama dies, so you see on this chart over here, Reuven is married to a woman, and Reuven dies. What happens to the woman? I wasn't able to get the arrows yet. He sent it to me, but they're not working so well. So I have to go with my rudimentary connected dots, those yellow dots. That woman, Rachel, has a Zika to Shimon. He's supposed to be Miyabimer. Now, Shimon is married, or what happens? Mutter Ba'achoisa. If the Yevama dies, you see in step 2, Rachel dies. She was a Shemeres Yavam. She was standing, she was ready to get married to Shimon, and she dies. So she's allowed to, Shimon is allowed to marry her sister. Now, in any way, in a real life situation where Shimon is married to Rachel, and then Rachel dies, you're allowed to marry the sister after she dies. But the Gemara wants to medayek, Mutter Ba'achoisa, Ba'achoisa in, B'im. The only one Shimon is allowed to marry here is Leah. It doesn't say anything about Leah's mother. So it seemed like it's Austein Leah's mother, because, why would Shimon be Austein Leah's mother? Because of Rachel. Rachel fell to him, and they had a Zika, look at that yellow line, they had a connection, and once they have a connection, Shimon can no longer marry that woman's mother. But he could marry her sister. It's a good deal. So what do you see from here? The fact, what? It's the fact that he cannot marry the mother. You see that there is a Zika. Bimalai. Says the Gemara, no, not a good deal. There's no Zika, and you can marry the mother. I'm just following, I'm mimicking the language of the Reisha. The Reisha is talking about the wife's sister. So I continue in the sefer. It's the raisa to marry a mother ever, even after the death of the wife. You're not allowed to marry the mother-in-law. Okay, it's not a good raya yet. Rav Yehuda just paskins that you're never allowed to marry the Yevamos mother. What does that tell me? L'chayra yesh zika. There was a bond, and that bond lasts even after the death of the Yevama. So alma kasav yesh zika. You see, the Rav Yehuda holds yesh zika. So let's just, if we pause for a millisecond here, Rav Yehuda was a Talmud of who? All over Shas. Rav Yehuda Omar. Rav Yehuda Omar. Shmuel. He was a Talmud of both of them. Rav says Ein Zika, and Rav Yehuda holds now Yesh Zika. Where did he get it from? He made it up. He's arguing on his own Rebbe. Obviously, if we just stop here for a second, that's the Gemara is going to talk about it. Also, not a big sugya. He obviously got it from his other Rebbe named Shmuel. Why is he saying a whole story? He's also to the mother. And the point is that the Zika, that's why he's also to the mother. There's a connection between him and this woman, which disallows the marriage to his mother. He should just say straight and simple, yes, Zika, similar lashon to what we had yesterday. If you just say a simple halacha, there is Zika. Ava betray ain't Zika. You see this picture right over here? Ruvain goes bye-bye, and he has two brothers, Shimon and Levi. So I would think that when do you have Zika? Zika is very strong when it's one-on-one. She has no one else to marry but you. You're the only Yavam available. So the Zika, it's a tremendous bond. But what over here, you have two yellow lines. She could go to either one. It's maybe a bigger mitzvah for the older brother. But if the younger brother and the older brother doesn't want, the younger brother steps in, doesn't ask any questions, steps in. Of course she's married to the younger one. So maybe there's no Zika when it's two. It's a very shvacha bond. Here's the first carbon that thought that the clocks continue. I'm just kidding. Not you. Not you. You're Yeke. What? We're before Shachris. Come on in. 6:30 minyan. He's here for the 6:30 minyan. Our train Zika. Baki pligi betray pligi. Says the Gemara, what are you talking about? This case is where Rav Yehuda said his halacha we had yesterday. In two brothers, he argues that there is Zika. If he would have said Yesh Zika, just a simple statement, Yesh Zika, what would I think? When this Yevama is alive, there's a bond, there's a connection, there's a Zika. Daf all the way on top. Paka lo Zika. I would think that the death of the Yevama severs the bond. No. You're still also to her mother. She's dead. The mother is still also. There's no severance. Is that a right word? Not here. Severance means payment, no? Could you say severance on this also? I don't know. She didn't say it like that. So you see from here, Rav Yehuda wanted to be mechadish. First of all, yes, I hold Yesh Zika, but I also want to tell you that death of a Yevama doesn't make the Zika go away. It's stronger than what you think. Says the Gemara, I have a raya to him. Yevimta Shemesa. Let's see if we have this. Yeah, this one right over here. You have the Yevama. You see her sideways. It's not a good picture. I couldn't get Yoshi. He was very busy yesterday. So she died with the chicken and the fish and the cart, everything. She doesn't look very dead. She's just sideways. Huh? It's falling out. Yeah. It happens. And then she fell down with the cart. The Yevama dies. Shimon can marry the sister. We had this a minute ago. Same sugya, same question. What? It seems like he cannot marry her mother. No, it's a great raya. The Zika, that's why he can't marry the mother. No, he could marry the mother. If you look at the Mishnah over there, it's referring to a case of Ishti Shemesa, only it's talking about his wife, and it's describing that the wife is mutter after she dies. You let her marry the sister. Davka b'achoisa, avim alai, navili isur deraisa. It's the right to marry a mother-in-law forever. Tanami seifa, amud b'achoisa. We just mimic the same lashon, but we didn't really mean it. Now we're going to go to our favorite case of a shesach shelo yeh b'olamai. which is this case right over here. So Baruch Hashem, we have Yoshi's drawing. You'll see when I step in and take over without the proper arrows, it's Gival. So here, what do we have? We have Moser Rav Osaba Maimer V'Meis Shnia Choyletzes Veloy Misya Bemes. So if you look closely, it's hard to see. I stuck that in there. Step one is that there were two brothers, Reuven and Shimon. They were married to two separate women, not related. Reuven goes bye-bye, goes to Dubai. Bye-bye. Dubai and Olam Emes. Comes Shimon. Now, Mazal falls to Shimon. He should be Miyabimer. What does he do instead? If you look, do you see what's on top of Shimon's head over there? A ring. What is that? What do we call that? Maimer. Maimer. In this case, it's Maimer. He gives her a ring. So also by Maimer, V'meis, and then he goes bye-bye. And then what happens? The little brother is born. Eishes Ach. He was born after this. Shnia. Sorry. No. Sorry. Not after. Before. So step one is they're married. Step two is Reuven goes bye-bye. Step three is he was born. You see, it says three. He was born. Step four, if you look at step four, that's where he gives the Maimer. Also a Maimer. So now we have an issue that Yisachar, the baby, was he alive when Shimon was married to Mazal or not? Was he married to Mazal? The fact that he gave her Maimer was that marriage. And it says, Batayin lady gets chalitza from the little kid. So the Gemara says, it seems like the whole connection between Shimon and Mazal is because there was an engagement ring over there. But if he didn't give an engagement ring, then there's no connection at all. But what should really be? Is there a connection between Mazal and Shimon? Well, if you hold Yesh Zika, there's a tremendous connection. Forget the ring. They're bonded together to the point that Bat Ayin lady is a tzara. She's the co-wife of this bonded lady. She's a tzaras zikukasai. Shimon is zakuk to Mazal, and Shimon happens to be married also to Bat Ayin. So now the little guy can't marry either one of them. One of them is the skuka of his brother. When did the bond between Mazal and Shimon happen? When the brother died. The brother died before Yisachar was born. So they already had a bond together. And he came into this world before his brother died, after his brother died. But there was a zika between Mazal and Shimon. So Meir, why are you telling me that Shimon did a Maimer? He gave her a kiddushin, he gave her a ring. It has nothing to do with the ring. There's more than a ring. It's a zika. So you see that zika doesn't count over here.
Did Yisachar have a zika to Mazal?
No. He came to the world after his brother died. Now, if Shimon, this guy Shimon, you don't know him. This guy Shimon, you just asked the question. It's fun. It's like from a different world. If Shimon goes bye-bye, step 5, is there a zika between Yisachar and Shimon? And Shimon's wife, Mazal? So that's the machlokes. We're going to see in the next Mishnah. He came into a world where Shimon was already together with Mazal. So klape them, he was in the world. But klape Reuven, he wasn't in the world. How do we view it? Our Mishnah views it doesn't matter. He wasn't in the world with Reuven. That's what counts. He happens to be connected to Mazal through Zika. You're right, the case doesn't need a ring. I threw in the ring just to get somebody else upset. A different man Amar. Yisachar, the little guy, would never be able to perform Yibum. He has to do Chalitza regardless. So why is the Mishnah over there? Why does it say a case of a ring, of money, of Maimer, of Kiddushin? Listen to this halacha. This you're not going to believe. This we never had. Beishamai hold the Amri Maimer Koina Kinyan Gomer. When Shimon gives Mazal a ring, it's a Doraisa Kinyan. Doraisa. You hear what I'm saying? Doraisa. Up until now, we said Kiddushin to Yevamos is a Derabanan halacha. Be nice, do it properly. Don't jump into Yibum right away. No, Bisham is saying Kiddushin, that's the way to do it. First you do Kiddushin, she becomes 100% yours midayraisa. That's Bishamai. And I'm telling you, even if there was a ring, ignore the ring. And I'm telling you, Kamashmal, we hold, it doesn't do a kinyan at all. Picture. Okay, this is just from the sugi that we just learned. This just shows that Mazal has Zika to Shimon, and Mazal has Zika to, she's the tzara. Bat Ayin is a tzara to Mazal. You see the connection between the two. Okay, what happened? No, it's a different thing. Okay, stay over here for a second. Fine. Maybe I skipped. No. All right. Shnei achin boilam echad. You have two brothers. This is a typical case of evil. Two brothers. And one brother died without a child. And the other guy wanted to do Meir. He wasn't even able to do a Meir Kiddushin. So, the one brother dies, and before he was able to do anything, another brother was born. So real quickly, a story. Sorry for Shabbos. Reb Chaim Kanievsky's story. Reb Chanani Cholak from Ezem Tzion said that he witnessed this. There was a couple that couldn't have children for many years, and finally they had a child. And when that child was 18 years old, the child passed away. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky was very bitzar. He went to be Menachem over them. It's unbelievable. Their only child, they had one child, the child was nifter when he was 18. So at the Shiva, the mother told Reb Chaim Kanievsky that she wants another child. So Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, okay, Be'ez Hashem, you'll have one next year. And she had one the next year. But the crazy thing is she was 61 years old, he says. Okay, he witnessed it. I didn't have time to look up. 61 years old. Okay. The first one. So here's the thing here. What happened was Shimon, in this case, I should really, I forgot to put my laser on. Is my, well, they forgot, you didn't give me my mouse back, huh? Huh? You took it. Somebody took it yesterday, brought it in the kitchen. Okay, let them shana. Fine. I'm going to look sideways today, like I always do. Shimon wanted to do a Meir to Mazal, but he didn't. And what happened? And then step 3 is this little guy was born, and then step 4 is that this guy went bye-bye. What's the halacha? So, this one, let's see if this works. Yeah, it does. But it's a little bit... Yeah, but it's better for you because I'm looking at you. I know, but I have to look at the camera. If I go like this, my head is like this. I know, I got to get used to it. Fine. Anyway, this one right over here, Mazal, yeah, it's not moving good. It's okay, fine. Maybe I could go like this, not look over there. I'll look over here. Mazal, right over here, doesn't need anything. She goes, no chalitza. Why? Because this guy and her is Eishes Achav Shalayyah. He wasn't around when his brother Reuven died. But this one right over here, look at the green line. That's my superimposed ugly green line. I did it over his red line because I couldn't manipulate it. That tells me that what? He is mutter in this woman right over here. Why? Because Shimon never did any Meir or Yibum with Mazal. As I state. But the question is, but look, there's a yellow line right over here. if there is a connection between Mazal and Shimon, how in the world could this guy marry Shimon's other wife? Mazal is a Eishes Ach to him. And she's connected to Shimon through Zika. So this Bat Ayin lady is a tzara, is a co-wife to that woman who's bonded to him. Very simple. The boy says, is anybody finding Yevamos difficult? I'm serious, it's not even difficult. It's not. Yevamos.
Really? That's great.
Says Gemara Mani Remeir, you guys are laughing. I think it's very easy.
What's the point of the mimer? Does he need a mimer? He's attached to already.
No, I mean, according to Bishama, it makes it right. So according to everybody else, it adds a little bit of it gets other brothers out of the way. He gets the money. He locks in all the cash. There's a big thing. He's worried that his brother's going to chop around. He goes, "You want this ring? Yeah, well, okay." Now then he can take his time. Then he can come back 2 years from now. So okay, this is not a big kasha. You asked me one. We just showed that there's different opinions. Yesh zika, ain't zika. So you asked me. This goes according to Meir, which was actually mentioned over there. That it's him. So it is Meir. I'm not just throwing a name there. He's in there already. Meir, the Amar ain't zika, and Meir holds ain't zika. But the problem is, does he really hold ain't zika? I saw his name there, but does he really hold ain't zika? Meir ain't zika. But now in Arbach, so we had this case. Don't get all nervous from this. You have Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. You have the both of them brothers. And you have the two Yerushalmi Lezuah sisters, Rachel and Leah. Two of the brothers are married to the sisters. There are a lot of cases in the sugya. That's why it's going to take us a long time to finish this. And you see, they both went by those two brothers, Reuben and Shimon. But let me see how. You see, there's a chalitza shoe right next to Levi and Yehuda. The only thing they could do is perform chalitza. Why? Because the two sisters, you're not allowed to be married to two sisters. And guess what happened? Both sisters have a connection to each one of the brothers. You can't have a connection to two sisters. Levi is connected to Rachel and Leah. Yehuda is connected to Rachel and Leah. They both fell to Yibum. We don't know who's to who. They automatically both go to both. By the way, it's very similar to our parasha. There was 4 brothers, 2 of them died without children. And the unbelievable, I'll say it real quickly because we're running late. Shik says on an unbelievable thing, how come in this case there's no Yibum? And this gives us a little bit of a peek to the insides of how Yibum works. He says, based on the Zayar that says that when you perform Yibum, you have a child, that child receives the neshama of his dead father. But how are you going to do it with 2 women? When you have Zika from 2 separate, two fathers, to this, it doesn't work. The kid is going to have 2 neshamas. That's what he says. Just a behind the scenes kind of thing. Says the Gemara, if you hold, Meir says, there's no Zika, so there's no bond between Rachel and Leah to Levi. There's no bond between Rachel and Leah to Yehuda. They can just take whoever they want, but there's no bond. There's no semi-kedushin there. So let them marry whoever they want. Says Gemara, you're right. There's no Zika. But so how come they can't do Yibum? How come only Chalitza? Listen to this. It's insane. It's like people that are scared of sharks, right? You go into the water, you're scared of sharks. How many people died this year from sharks, Rabbi Isai, in the entire world? 10 people. 10 people. How many people died from dogs, let's say? 100,000. The number, how many people died from mosquitoes this year? 1 million. Over 1 million, right? So 10 people died from sharks. Who's scared of a mosquito? No one. Who's scared? Shark, I don't go into the water. I don't go into the water because, even in a lake, because maybe the shark jumped from here to there. Okay. That's what we're worried about over here. Something like, that's what remains. Mamish, the furthest chash in the world. You hear what's going on here? It's possible that one guy is going to do Yibum on one, and the other one is going to, the other Yavim is going to die, and there's not going to be any, no mitzvah is going to be Mekuyim. Unbelievable. But what's the big deal? So he wasn't Mekayim the mitzvah. You see, there's a Shita of Rabbi Gamliel, another Shita we didn't discuss about. He holds it's not a problem. Bimavato. Where do you see that we don't care about yibum? It's not. Unbelievable. We're mamish running out of time here. We're having a lot of fun and running out of time. Basically, what we have here is two brothers, Reuven and Shimon. Reuven is married, and I don't know if you could see well, but I didn't have good sisters. That one of them is Gershon. Hi. What's going on? No, we're in the middle of the chart over there, if you don't mind. So the sisters, okay, that Yerushalmi lady and that minor is our sisters. The minor we know could do miyun. Now, what happens is that Reuven went bye-bye. Leah, who's an adult, should be able to perform yibum with Shimon. Shimon should be able to marry Leah. But what's getting in the way? A sister. You're not allowed to be married to sisters. But she's not really married to Shimon, that little one. It's a quasi-marriage. If she just says, I'm out of here, she's out of there. So let her say, I'm out of there. And then Shimon could be miyab and Leah properly. So that's what we do. But Rabbi Gamliel says, no, don't worry about it. Let her get older. And then Shimon will be married for real to that youngster. But now she's a gdoila. And Leah is going to go out. Because she's the sister of your wife. Can't marry two sisters. So he's advising to be mevatel the mitzvah yibum. He's saying, just wait, let her go bye-bye. Not bye-bye like that, but the other type of bye.
What should she do in the meantime? She has to wait all those
Yeah, she has to wait all those 3 years. Yeah, 100%. Or 12 years, whatever it is. Yeah, never. So you see, first of all, there's no zika. Because if there's zika, then they would be connected anyway. And you see that you're allowed to be mevatel the mitzvah yevamos. Says Gemara, my lady, the Meir Karam is asking a question between two Tanoim. One says like this, one says like that. Says Gemara, Meir is chayshish that the brother's going to die before he has a chance to perform another evil. Mamish a far out chashash. He doesn't even care about not performing even at all. So Gemara, how could that be? Mikatza lakatza. One is so makbid, one doesn't care at all. Says Gemara, yeah. Whoever doesn't care at all. Another one cares about even. Okay. Abai tells his Rebbe, Rav Yosef, the Rav Yehuda Shmuley. I want you to know, and we touched upon it, and we explained a little bit. Rav Yehuda, who says Yesh Zika, he got it from his other Rebbe called Shmuel, not from his Rebbe called Rav, who we learned yesterday. The Rav holds Ein Zika. This nan. 4 minutes for Amud Beis. Over here we have a lot less charts. We learned Mishum Rebbe the Meser Amru Shemeres Yavam. This Yevama falls to a brother, and one of the brothers goes ahead and performs Kiddushin. Just like here. You see, Levi decides to be Mekadesh Leah. Leah is the sister of the one that felt him already to Yibum. But there's another brother. Let Shimon take care of Rachel. I want to marry Leah. Sponsored in honor of Shmuley Sugar, the original sugar shaker, sponsored in honor of Ed Kinsbursky, Brian Kinsbursky, and Ari Miller for learning the Daf Yishkoyach. Rabbi the Meir Amru, Mishum Rabbi the Meir Amru, they said, let Shimon be miyabim Rachel. And what's going to happen? Then there's no more zika between Levi and Rachel, and Levi can go ahead and marry and do erus and nisuin with Leah. But Shmuel, that there is zika. Says Shmuel. So Shmuel says that there is zika. So where did Rabbi Yehuda get his idea that the yesh zika? From his Rabbi Shmuel, who says yesh zika. Amalei, and what's the big deal? Did the Rav, you're bothered that if Rav said yesh zika and Shmuel and Rabbi Yehuda got it from Rav, what's the problem? Kasha the Rav of the Rav. Yesterday we said in the name of Rav Huna that Rav holds Ein zika. And now you're going to tell me that Rav holds yesh zika? That's a contradiction. What Rav said. What's the big deal? It's not the first time it happened in Shas. Maybe two Talmidim, Rav Yehuda and Rav Huna, are arguing what the Rebbe Rav said. Says the Gemara, okay, that's when you don't have a choice. But now that we know that another one of his Rebbeim called Shmuel says specifically yesh zika, he got it from him. Why make a machlokes for no reason? Ushmei the Rav, kameroi. L'shafkinim ushmei the Shmuel. Bad yom ekminu kameroi veli the Rav. And we're not going to leave a solid source called Shmuel and go to a machlokes between what Rav said and what he didn't say. So Shmuel said yesh zika, Rav said ain't zika. Omer Rav Kahana amritu l'shmaita kamedu Rav Zvid min Arda. I said this over. Omer Atun hachim asnisullah. You have this whole svara that doesn't make sense. That there's a machlokes what Rav said. Omer Rav Yehuda. Omer Shmuel. Where did Rabbi Yehuda get it from? From Shmuel. And the story. I mean, once we have this, it's posh. Shemeres Yavam. That what? What do you say? Shemeres Yavam Shemeisa Asur Be'ima. If the Yevama dies, you're still also to marry the mother. Why can't you marry the mother? You have no connection between the Yevama. Obviously, you have a very strong connection called Zika, and that Zika doesn't allow you to marry the mother forever. She's your mother-in-law forever. So Shmuel says the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira. Utzrichi, you have to say that the halach is yesh zika and the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, which is the same, one and the same. Again, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira says yesh zika and yesh zika. By the way, yesh zika, and by the way, the halach is like Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira that says yesh zika. What did I just gain? Says Gemara Utzrichi, the yashmini yesh zika. If I would just say those words, two words, yesh zika, we had this already. You guys are familiar with this. When there's one brother, it's very strong. One brother, one Yevama. Okay, there's a bond. I have a betray law, but if there's one Yevama, the two brothers, it's very weak. Maybe the Zika doesn't exist. Kamash Malon, even two brothers. That's what Yehuda Meseir says. I would think only when the Yevama is alive. But after death of the Yevama, the Zika goes away. Kamash Malon, the Zika Birdi, Loi Paka. Says the Mishnah. This Mishnah is identical to the Mishnah we had yesterday. Besides one nafkamina, sponsored by Fishel, the official Mishnah sponsored by Fishel. Lakewood, in honor of the birth of his granddaughter. In honor of the upcoming sponsors. You're familiar with this chart because we had it already, unless you just joined us today. There's a difference. It's basically the same case, the same nice case that Yoshi made. But there's a difference between Meis Noilad Yibem and Meis Yibem Noilad. The only difference is, like what Mendy was saying before, he was Miyabim first and then it was the little guy was born, or the little guy was born and then there was Yibum between Shimon and the Yevama. Right? So the first Mishnah is Meis Noilad Yibem. Reuven dies, a new brother comes into existence, then Shimon, one of the original brothers, he's Miyabim Rachel, and he has a co-wife, Batayin. This Mishnah, now if we stop over here, you see the little guy? He was in the world when Shimon married Rachel. So maybe we view it as he has a big connection between Shimon and Rachel. So if Shimon dies, he should be able to be Miyabim Rachel. The second Mishnah, which we're about to learn now, is just telling us, what if he comes into existence after everything? So, it's a big difference. Nafkimina, if you hold like Tanakama or you hold like Reb Shimon. It says the Mishnah inside. There's two brothers, one died. So we could go to this chart, you could look it over here. So step one or step two, the one brother died. Shimon did what he had to do and he's Miyabim. And then Yisachar comes into existence, and you see step 4 happened after step 3. Step 3 is that there was Yibum between Mazal and Shimon, and step 4 is that the little boy was born. He's but now he's in the Olam. He came into existence when his brother's already married to Mazal. The first one goes out because she's the Mazal is Shloya Bayalama. Bashnia, Mishum Tzarasa, and Batayin lady is the co-wife of Shimon. And she's the co-wife together with the Tzara, Mazal, who's Shloya Bayalama. Also, by Meir V'meis, what if Shimon was not Miyabim Mazal? He only gave her a ring. Hashnia Chayletzes V'lemisya Bemes, now Yisachar has to perform Chalitza B'nat Yibum. Reb Shimon Oimer, and the Gemara is going to tell us that Reb Shimon argues on the first Mishnah as well. Miyabim leizmem sheyirtza. Reb Shimon holds that Yisachar could go and be miyam batayin and he could be miyabim mazal. How could he be miyam mazal? Because he came to his brothers married Shimon, his brother, is married to Mazal. He doesn't care what happened 20 years ago that Reuben once upon a time was married to Mazal. Right now, Shimon is married to Mazal. So it's my brother's wife. I have to be miyavim her. And the Gemara is going to explain how that works. What time is it? I have no idea. I don't see the clock. What? Oh, 8:03. Okay, a few more minutes. Shimon, I don't want to get used to this and doing it. We started kind of on time and we weren't so late, but a lot of cases, when there's a lot of charts, it goes a lot slower. Rabbi Shimon Omer, and wait, there's one daf. I don't want to tell you which. It's coming up in 10 days. Phew. Rabbi Shimon Omer, a lot of charts. Not hard, a lot of charts. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Yam Lezim Shitza, Chalitz Melim Shitza. Omer Rabbi Shaya. This is a massive chiddush, even in the case of Meis Noilad Yibem. So he comes into the world and he finds a brother that's dead and a wife, an almana. So he's mamish right at this moment. He's a Eishes Achshalei Ba'olama. He's usher to marry that almana called Rachel. And then Shimon comes along and marries the almana. He was miyabim her. Says Reb Shimon, he's allowed to be miyabim her. This woman who's usher to him 100%. He's allowed to be miyabim her after Shimon dies. The Gemara is going to explain why. Mimai, I'll tell you how I know this. The Mishnah, the first Mishnah and the second Mishnah are identical. There's only one detail that's different. So why did the Mishnah have to repeat itself? Why did I even have the first Mishnah? To tell us the Chiddush according to Rabban. If the little guy came into the world, he found the perfect world, his brother is happily married to Rachel. And in that case, Rabbanan hold that he's considered an Eishes Achshalei Ba'olama. There's no yibum between the little guy, even though he came in and they were already married. So certainly if he came into the world when they weren't married, he came into the world and he finds an almana. That is the classic case of Eishes Achshalei Ba'olama. So why do I need the first Mishnah? So it's not for them. So who is it for? Reb Shimon, who by the way is not even mentioned in the first Mishnah. He found them married when he came into this world. As Rabbanan, nevertheless, Rabbanan said he has nothing to do with that wife, Shimon's wife Mazal. So certainly, in a case where he came into the world when she was an almana, and then only afterwards Shimon was a miyabim. So I want to tell you the first Mishnah to tell you the big giant chiddush in Reb Shimon. So the chiddush is that even though Yisroel comes into the world and he finds his sister-in-law an almana, you're allowed to be miyabim her. Yisroel can be miyabim her if provided that his other brother did the yibum and they were married and his other brother died. Tremendous chiddush. So the first Mishnah is to tell us Reb Shimon, which we explained a second ago. Ubedinu says the Gemara, the niflang Reb Shimon bereisha. So why is Reb Shimon not even mentioned in the first Mishnah? He's being polite. He waited for Rabbanan to say everything they had to say. We'll stop right over here. We'll have to finish on Motzei Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos, I forgot to look at the clock. We have to get back to the island. What time is Shir Motzei Shabbos? 2 hours after Ma'ariv. When is that? 9:30. 9:30. Sorry guys. 9:30. Have a wonderful Shabbos, a wonderful day.